Being a startup is one thing, but being a startup with a rich and storied history and heritage is simply amazing.
So whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or these Scout motors that I hope to drive when press time comes, this is your All-Terrain Nation. I'm your host, David Boyd, and today, that is right, we're talking Scout. Now, we saw the renderings a couple years ago. I've done several videos on that and what I hope to happen. We were getting some kind of sneak peeks at what might be coming to fruition, and well, now we know, and they did the press release in my hometown, and I said, hey, I'm here. And they were like, we just don't have the room, which is, at least they answered back. Sometimes new startups like this, their media, they're a little iffy. And I've got friends that were at the press event and they were having a lot of fun with it. But so outside looking in here, I want to give some impressions of this thing because there is a lot to like about it. I think for the SUV side, it is the classic shape, but we've seen kind of this shape with what Rivian, one of their partners, is doing. So it's a little more muscular looking than what we've seen with the, the Rivian SUV. But I have to say the front end, it's all its own. And why they didn't go to round lights, I don't know. So let's look at this thing real quick and let's bring some photos up and we'll go into it. All right, from the get-go, here is our Scout, and, looks good. I have to say the photography here is A+. Great job, Scout Motors, on that. The lights, to me, are just like, I don't know. I really was hoping to see some round lights, and it's really pull that heritage in. We've seen it with, the way Bronco's done it, and I'm assuming they wanted to keep kind of far away from that as possible, even though we do know this design of SUV came out a couple years before the Bronco did. So you thought they might lean in their heritage just a little bit more. But the quad lights on this thing, they look okay to me. They're partnered with another brand, and maybe they've taken that design step. So we want classic looks, but we want to look into the future a little bit. I don't know, but ultimately you can see here it's definitely ready to, from what we can tell, ready to rock and roll because it's got some, it looks like good old BF Goodrich tires on it. And look at the openings here. Definitely, if you're into off-roading and rock crawling a little bit, that definitely is going to lend itself to that, which is a plus to me. Now, if this were a gas version, I'd be super excited about that because I'm like, they're paying attention to that community, but this is an EV. Now, with it, 350 plus miles of range is what they're estimating at this time, and we do know off-road, that's a completely different story. So might as well cut that in half and go, okay, I've got 100 to 125 miles of range in this thing, and it's going to be super capable because, electrics have all the torque. So if you're wanting to go do some really cool off-road adventures, I think this is going to be very capable of it. But let's go through the photos here just a little bit. And the back end, definitely, these windows definitely bring back the Scout heritage. As you can see here, definitely some beefy fenders, which I do like quite a bit. I like how they've integrated the, the tire into that. You get a little bit of molly panels there, which that's pretty freaking rad. Looks like it's going to have places for storage, shelving, and stuff like that. You do have the flip down tailgate, which is a big plus. That's what people, if they want a heritage kind of feeling vehicle, I think that's key. People want that kind of old tailgate style, which may not always be the most practical, but in this kind of vehicle, definitely. I say, hey, good job for doing that. But you can see the molly panels here in the back, and I do like for the tire holder there, the tire carrier, I do like how it's kind of a separate entity. So you can open that up. You still get a nice, looks like an electric-powered tail-assisted gate there, so that's going to be pretty cool. But I do like what I'm seeing in this. Here's a little closer shot of the molly panels, and we live in a world where we got to accessorize, we got to make things better, and we can do that. I love the fact that they are definitely using the old Scout, the old Scout names and the Scout logos and stuff. I love the red in that with that, that looks like, I'm assuming this is metal till we know. I wasn't there to actually feel and touch this thing. We don't know, but I do like that. Looks good. And I love it as a tire carrier and pretty innovative. I haven't seen anybody really try to do what they're doing here. Oh, go back one, Dave. We, can't go full Bronco life there, or Jeep life, as it were, but you definitely are going to get these slide back roof, so that it looks like I'm hoping this is an option, that this is just not how it comes. Hope you can get the hard roof as well, because I guarantee you, people will complain about this in a heartbeat, but it looks pretty good from what we see of the aerials. Hills of Tennessee right here. Everything looks good in a sunset photo. That color is a classic Scout color. I do like it. Overall shape is exactly what we saw in the renderings. So I'm pleased to say, they did pay attention, and they did capture what the Scout was about. Now, it doesn't say international on it, so I know some hardcore people are going to be like, hey, this ain't a true Scout. Hey, man, we're getting something cool here. So just be happy. The wheels on this thing, look at those wheels. They look great, especially with the looks like KO 2 or 3 tires. I can hardly tell at the moment. Once again, the grill looks. I'm kind of torn on it. When I first saw it, I was like, I don't know about that. And you know, maybe the longer I look at it, maybe it's more appealing to me. Definitely lots of heritage. They definitely paid attention to that. I do like the integrated, you know, for recovery points there. That's pretty nice. I would have liked to seen those more beveled. So if you wanted to use some soft shackles, it might be more appropriate, but you definitely looks like hard shackles in there. The taillights, I'm interested how these are going to get through regulations, because by law they have to be a certain size. And have they changed that law now with the LED coming in where they're brighter and smaller packages? Maybe. But it looks, you can definitely see the big hips on this thing. Looks really good there, and I cannot complain about that. Towing in the rear, or recovery in the rear. Once again, I would like to see these a little more beveled, rounded out, so you would feel comfortable using a soft shackle on it. And you know this big thing's going to be heavy. She's going to be a heavy girl, so all EVs are. And look at this. I love the little touch of Scout. You know, it's kind of illuminated there. That's pretty rad. Of course, you know you're going to find all kinds of little Easter eggs all over this. And it looks like there's some adjustability in there. So that's I don't know why exactly you might need that, but that's pretty cool that I see. And remember, I'm seeing some of these photos just as you are. Now, the illuminated door handles, that is pretty freaking rad. Good job on that, Scout. I even like the door handles on it. That looks really cool and very practical and handy there. So looks like they're paying attention. Of course, you're going to get a light bar across this, and when you see the truck, you're going to see why. It's all basically the same look to it on the truck, but kind of get that kind of plus. Well, I feel like Canoe might be like, hey, we kind of were doing this first as far as EVs. But overall, man, this thing, it looks good, and it looks like it's tough. Now let's go to the truck version of this thing, because yes, there's going to be two. There's going to be SUV and a truck. So let's take a look at that. A truck, an EV truck, and I commend them for doing that, man. They could have just went out with the SUV, but I know the Volkswagen Group, they've wanted a pickup truck for the United States. And of course, this is Scout. It's its own thing, but I have a feeling it's going to be tied to Volkswagen dealerships somehow. They're going to have to lean on those a little bit. And, you know, the dealers for Volkswagen, they're like, heck yeah, finally we're going to get a truck to sell. But as you can see here, it looks like there is your charge port right there. So pretty convenient, like most EVs now. You do get a step here on there, so that's nice if you're wanting to get into the back of this thing. And I have to say, it looks good. It's lifted. I haven't read through all the package yet, but I'm going to assume there's an air suspension to this of some sort, so you can lift it and lower it, because you don't want a big truck in the air going down the highway. You want to lower it as much as possible, because it's not fuel economy now, you know, but we need aerodynamics to play a big role in it. But they're lifted like that. Man, that does bring back a lot of cool memories of the old Scouts. And of course, I'm young enough, or I'm old enough, I guess, to remember the Scouts actually riding around town. But you can see once again, the illuminated bar comes all across there. It looks good. I'm just torn a little bit on the lights. I would have kind of liked to seen them lean into the round lights just a little bit more, but you know, I wouldn't say no to this. I'll say that. Now on the back of this thing, I'll be honest, I'm burnt out on, because it's electric, we need to shove as much LED as possible. Now we do know, yes, the brake lights are going to be here and probably here, but I don't need all of this. Does it look bad? No, it doesn't look too bad, but I'm just kind of over this. Hey, we gotta, you know, everything's got to be illuminated because we're EV. Now I don't see any towing here just yet, so I wonder what's going on with that. But looks like this thing is ready to go. Once again, you can see there we're gonna get some recovery points on that, which is especially a truck, if you're wanting to be on a farm with a truck, EV's coming for farmers, so they know it. So I wouldn't say no definitely to that. It looks good, and it looks like it's ready to maybe be a little bit of a workhorse. So another couple shots here. These glamour shots, they look good. I do like the color to this. Definitely brings back the vibes of the 60s and 70s for sure. And you can see that's kind of cool. They put Harvester on there. That's a nice homage to you know, where they came from there. Now, bedding of this looks like all these tie-down points. That's actually pretty smart. Nice LED in the back of this, which I'm happy about that. Maybe not so much on the tailgate. I could do without that. But in the cargo area, yes, 100%. That does look good. And, you know, we got the, you know, E here in 3. I don't know, man. You could have played into that, it seems like, a little bit with the naming maybe. But overall, this looks great. Looks like we're going to get a slide-down window here, best I can tell there, which, you know, Toyota fanboys like, so I have a feeling they'll like this on this. You're going to get all kinds of little Easter eggs on this. Of course, this is called the Terra, which I'm sure Nissan's over there going, hey, we had the X-Terra, and we have a Terra name all across the globe, but this goes back to heritage. So they play that into the press conference. This, I do like this little kick out plate here. That looks pretty rad. Nice little grab handle, and what a smart way to do that as well. It's styled in there, so you wouldn't necessarily notice it, but you want in the back of that. Nice way to grab right there. That's pretty rad. I like that pretty good. Wheels look great on both models. Wheels look great. KO3s. It's nice there. So it's gonna come with a new kick-ass tire. Skids, looks like we're gonna get some nice skids under there. The best I can tell. It's kind of hard from this, but it looks like, I mean, it's EV, so you know it's got to be fully skidded. They don't want anything puncturing those. Of course, this is looks like out in the plains. So definitely is ready to go. I do like what looks to be kind of a flat paint to that. That looks nice and gives it that futuristic tone without going completely crazy. Now we'll get to the interior of this thing, and this is one thing, if you notice, that's a bench seat in the front of this thing, which is that's a killer throwback. That I don't know how that works in safety now, but it's pretty rad that they got that. And they mentioned, oh, your dog has a place to sit now, which I don't know if pet owners would be super excited anymore to have their pet where he could get hurt. But then again, you know, I'm old school, and I remember dogs riding the back of trucks. So let's look at this interior of this thing. The steering wheel looks nice. I do like the kind of rollers there. So when you're going through your screens, makes it easier. And speaking of screen, look at the size of this thing. That thing is massive, and I mean massive. And of course, it's electric, so you have all the room you need. Nothing, no real mechanical stuff behind it. Nice toggles there. You can see your fan switches, your window looks like it looks like a window anyways. Best I can tell, all kinds of actual switches. And it looks like when they're engaged, maybe they stay down, which would be kind of nice. Square AC vents there, which looks pretty cool. You can see the pedals down there. Nothing crazy, but they are nice. They could have just been a plain black rubber panel and or pedal, and people like that. They've paid attention to Bronco accessories, because there is an accessory rail. So it looks like you'll be able to put phone attachments up there, which would be nice, because I can't live without my phone just attached to that a holder there now. Works out well, especially if you're traveling. I like to use my phone for my apps and stuff. So definitely they've paid some attention there. The throwback to the wood look to this thing, that's pretty cool. I have to say that's really cool. And we get some more shots here. You can see this is your bench seat. Now, this is an option, according to Scout. This is definitely an option, and I don't know that I would option it like that, to be honest, but I do like that they're paying attention to the brand. Of course, the nice little logo into the seat itself looks good. Looks like they're going to be ventilated and heated seats there, best I can tell, and that looks pretty cool. Now, as we are in the SUV, definitely some heritage here. I do kind of look at the roof on that, the kind of plaid-ish look to that. That's pretty cool. Placed all the way down through here. That's nice. These seats look great. They really do, but they look kind of old school. The way they're formed, the way the look of them is kind of old school, but yet, it's going to be bolstered and it's going to be nice. And of course they do, they're perforated there, so you can tell they're probably heated and cooled on this. Now, as you can see here, definitely we have no transmission, so you're going to get all the rooms down there, so you can definitely do that. Nice little armrest there. Looks pretty good. The classy touches to that looks great. I have to say, the interior of this thing, which I was a little worried about, how would it look? 100%. This thing looks really cool. You can see the cup holders there. Once again, the big old screen in this. And thank you, Scout, for not shoving the screen up through the window. You guys know, if you've been watching any of my videos here recently, I've just been so over that. And it's a big screen, so they could have easily had it poking out there. But no, they really worked to keep that classic look of the dash of the old Scouts. So I definitely commend them for that. Looks like your start button. Is that? I can't tell. It looks like an on-off button there. So that's pretty nice placement of that. Because I'll be honest, with EV especially, we don't need buttons over here. Just push it and go, man. This thing's ready to go. See what else we got here for photos. Now, this is where it kind of gives, to me, the little bit of a Rivian vibe to that. You can see here the needle. So that's going to be really cool, where it's definitely going to kind of go across the screen there. That is a very cool touch. The fonting and everything there kind of reminds me of Rivian just a little bit. What else we got going on there? Once again, you can see the little the start on off button there. And it looks like a little gear around it. So that's kind of cool. Here is it looks like a phone button maybe. Okay, cooled seats, as you can see right there. I'm sure that's the heated seats there, so part of the toggles there looks really cool. Back seats, because, backseat drivers. Look, they have AC vents. Other brands, take notice. And that's cool. They carried the toggles over to the rear of this thing, which is, that's very classy. And they don't always have to do that. It could have just been a easy haptic button of some sort, but they gave it the toggles there. So I have to say, the more and more I'm seeing this thing, the more I'm kind of digging this thing. Of course, you can do a reservation on these now as well. It's $100 on Scout Motors website. But the back of this, once again, it carries all the way over. Looks like nice plastic to the rear of this thing. Of course, you're going to get map holders and all that. Of course, it looks like a lot of foot room. I mean, a lot of foot room down there, which is nice because, well, there's no transmission to kind of, obstruct your feet from moving around. Now, is this a clip of some sort? It kind of looks like it, though it may not be. Like, you can undo it. Maybe larger items, you can kind of bungee them in there. That would be kind of cool. I do like how they carried over the roof into the speaker pod there. That's pretty nice. Doors, or this is the seats. I'm sorry, this is your seat buttons here. Look at the gear. That's pretty cool, though I do feel like that might get broken off a little bit. Just first impressions. Scout in there, very classy. They didn't go crazy. I mean, yeah, there's Scout branding everywhere, but they could have went a lot worse. I mean, a lot worse. We're going to get, that's nice, some LED in the inside. We've seen that before with Rivian. So, who is offering some, the Volkswagen Group paid Rivian for helping out with some things. So I'm sure all the design of this is definitely, Scout, but they're definitely going to reuse some parts there if they can, I would say. Now, what do we got here? Looks like, I can't tell what that is. Is that some sort of, no, it's not a speaker. Can't tell what exactly that is at the moment. These look to be hangers, maybe? That would be kind of nice if they flip down. You could hang some stuff off of there. Maybe it's just you and a partner out there adventuring. Passway through, no transmission once again. The front of this thing, they do talk about it will hold a set of golf clubs, all your bags in there. Lots of charging too. They did mention in the press that, hey, there's just charging everywhere, which I'd like to make a big deal out of, but it's every EV car and truck now has this, so it's pretty standard. Nice little tabletop there. That's pretty cool that it slides out. Maybe you need just a little extra. You're on an adventure. You're wanting to do your lunch out there or something. Maybe you can store some drinks in there. It would be cool if it did have a kind of a cooler-like feature. You could definitely do that. And that seems to be what we've seen of this. Now, the good and the bad of this thing, it looks the part. I have to say, yes, they did an excellent job. I was a little worried once again that when we saw the kind of outline of it, that was just a sketch outline. Were they going to stay true to it? Were they not? Do we know? Do we not? I think they've done a great job with this. The quad headlights, or whatever you want to call the DRLs in the front, I'm a little torn on that because I do like the old Scout round lights from the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, the old glass lights that they used to do. But I get why they didn't. Other brands are doing that. Jeep, Bronco, they're all leaning into that. So they want the look of this thing to be just futuristic enough without going crazy, but just enough 60s, 70s tone to kind of bring back those vibes. And of course, I have to say, ultimately, the group that might remember Scout, I have a feeling they're well gone. I mean, well gone. 80 was 80 or 81 was the last production Scout. They were not popular by that point, so they weren't flying off the shelf. So that's why Scout went under. And does that generation that would have owned it, your 30s, 20s, 30s, 40s at that time, are they're 80s now, 60s, 70s. So will they lean into this, or will a new generation pick up on the Scout and be like, dude, my grandfather had one of these, man. It sat in the garage forever. I still wanted to remodel it, but I don't have the money for that to do it right. Maybe we do this and we get the electric version for a new generation. So you know what to do. I'm curious of your opinions. What do you guys think of this thing? Are you into it? Your opinions matter because it's where I buy the next vehicles for the channel. Do I put a deposit on this one? Because I've been looking for an EV vehicle. You guys know I've tried with the Chevrolet. I've tried with other brands out there that keep saying they're going to bring EV to market, and they just never do. And the killer to this thing is we won't see them till 27, and that's late 27 because the plant, they're working on the plant now, but at minimum another year to get the plant up and going in production. They got to finalize everything, and well, the claim pricing too is 60s starting out. In reality, I think those are probably 75 to 80 starting out by the time we get to these things being released. Is that too much? Or, I just paid $90,000 for a Bronco Raptor. Is that where adventure vehicles are going to be now? I hope not, but we'll see. So in the comments below, let me know what you think about this thing. So whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or these shocking EVs that I do like this one quite a bit that I'm going to drive. This has been your All Terrain Nation. I'm your host, David Boyd, and we're out. Peace, everybody. Love y'all.